Hi, I'm Brandy McDonald, features writer for the Oklahoman and News OK, and I have with me today in the News OK studios Michael Barron. He's the producing artistic director from Lyric Theater, and he is here to talk about the New Works Initiative. And I think you guys have a production that's going on now that is part of that initiative. So tell us a little bit about Man and Wife.
Sure. Man and Wife is our third premiere at Lyric in 3 seasons, which we're really excited about. My goal is to do a new work every year, so this is the one for 2016. It's a brand new show. It stars 3 actors, one of which is a character named Henry Mann, hence the title Man and Wife. And it's a romantic comedy. He's trying to find a date to his ex-fiancee's wedding. So the cast is him, his best friend Glenn, and then a woman who plays all of the dates, as well as his mother. So it's really funny. There's some quick changes that she has to make. The songs are very sweet, and anyone that has ever gone on a date, which hopefully is everybody, will identify with Henry's plight at some point.
Yeah, and I like Liz's accent as his mother. She's got that great New York mom accent.
She does. She does. You know, it's not too big of a part of the show, but he's clearly Jewish. She's clearly a Jewish mother, which is probably not too similar to any Italian mother or a mother that makes their child feel guilty that they're not married yet. And I think we've all had that pressure.
We've all had a little bit of that. So this is it's as you said, a 3-person show. Can you talk a little bit about what inspired you to want to bring this one to Oklahoma?
Absolutely. I worked with Doug Cohen, the composer, many years ago on a new musical he did, and we worked on that in California. And we became friends. I was the assistant director back then. It was about 15 years ago, so earlier in my career. And we've remained friends ever since. And he said, you know, whenever you have the ability in a theater of your own, I'd love to premiere a show with you. And so about a year and a half ago, I saw him in New York, and he said, I'm working on this really fun musical, and it might be a great fit for Oklahoma and the space. It's at the Plaza Theater, so it's an intimate house that seats 279. And it just fits perfectly. So to be able to work with him and Dan Ellis, who wrote the story, it's based on Dan Ellis's novel 9 Wives, has been a real treat. And particularly at this slot in our season, I always like to do a comedy or something to get us out of the post-holiday winter doldrums. So, and this really fits the bill. It's so delightful, and having the writers here, making changes. Even this past week, we've had some audiences, and after every show, there's a talk back. But we've made changes based on the audience's response. So, for example, last night, an audience member felt the show ended just a bit abruptly, so tonight we're going to add a little musical coda to the show based on his comment. But after tonight, the show will be sealed, because eventually you have to let the actors just do the show and enjoy themselves. But audiences have already been super receptive. We've had 2 standing ovations, and it's just very charming and heartfelt. So you really do care for these 3 characters by the end of the show.
And I've seen some of the rehearsals. Can you talk a little bit about why it's so important to premiere new works? Why is that an important part of what Lyric is doing now?
Well, Lyric's been around for, I believe, 53 years, 52, 53 years, and for most of those years, you know, we've always done properties or musicals that were usually premiered in New York or other places and did the Oklahoma premiere or a wonderful revival of a classic show. But I feel, as a not-for-profit and a vibrant arts institution, that we should be adding to the canon of musical theater, and that other places should be doing musicals that premiere here in Oklahoma. And that's already begun to happen. The first show we premiered 3 years ago, Triangle, has had performances in California. Bernice Bobs Her Hair, which we did in this past fall, is I'm sure going to be licensed and be done somewhere else. And this show actually has New York producers attached. They're here in town. One of them produced Murder for Two, we did last season, and the other one has Broadway credits like The Elephant Man with Bradley Cooper and A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder. And he produced this season On Your Feet, which is the Gloria Estefan hit. So for those people to be here in Oklahoma in residence makes where I work a more exciting place. It certainly gives more national reputation to Lyric when we go to New York for auditions. Every Broadway person wants to come work here, and that's exciting to be wanted, and also to be able we're a special case because our facilities are so nice and the talent here is so good that they're more than willing to premiere their new works here outside of the New York Eye and the New York critics, so they can have one last look at it before they decide whether they want to bring it to Broadway, off-Broadway, a national tour, other theaters. But we have really smart audiences, so the comments that our audiences give the writers are taken seriously, and we make changes accordingly.
So what has the audience response been to having world premieres being done in Oklahoma City on a routine basis?
Well, it's the best example is that they've grown exponentially. We had, I think with Triangle, even that first preview, people were so intrigued and loved it so much that was a 2-week run, and it went really well. With Bernice, then we had a 3-week run that was full. It beat ticket expectations, and this one also is a 3-week run. I bet we'll sell more tickets to this than Bernice. But the best part is that with these talkbacks after the show, there's more and more people staying. So last night, we probably had a good 30 people staying that wanted to hear from the writers, wanted to give their feedback, share their experience. And they're now starting to compare the shows. So they're saying, oh, some people are like, oh, I love this one just as much as Triangle. Some people are noticing, which was my goal, the different styles that composers are writing now. So Triangle was a little more, I would say, the sound of it was more artsy and maybe even classical. Bernice was a period piece, so all the music sounded like ragtime. This show sounds like sort of soft rock. So they're getting to see the different styles too that's coming out of Broadway, and be a part of the process. It's exciting for me. It's exciting, I think, for our patrons. Because they know I'm not just asking them to come see our shows, but I want them to participate, not only in the new works, but year-round. I'm always happy to hear comments about the other shows we do.
And I know you can't say too much about next season, but I think you guys have some big plans for this initiative.
We do. We are premiering a new show in the summer. So for our 4th new work, we're leaving the Plaza and actually doing it downtown at the big Civic Center Music Hall. And I can't mention what it is yet, but I will say that it involves, I'll say the Mouse House. So if you know what the Mouse House is, that's a good...
It's a good teaser.
A good teaser.
So, and I think it's a bigger show. I mean, this is like a 3-person show. I think this is going to be...
the one next year will have a cast well over 25 and full orchestra, and it's going to be pretty crazy. But we're already having meetings in New York for that one, and there'll be a workshop this August. I bet we'll be able to announce it in about a month. Okay,
well that's exciting. So it's a program that's growing. It's something that you guys have that's been very popular and caught on, and I'm excited about it. It's really fun to see the new ones come to town. So if they want to get more information about Man and Wife or any of Lyric's shows, where can they go?
They should always go to our website at lyrictheaterokc.com, or they can always call the box office at 524-9312 and buy tickets online. It's a great show. It runs only through February 21st, so there's a couple more weeks to see it, and we really would love to see you.
All right. And we'll have more at the Oklahoman and News OK about Man and Wife and about Lyric's New Works Initiative. And thanks for coming in. We
Thanks,
appreciate
Brandy.
it.